I love the internet. You gotta love it. You know, all it does is exist. It's a great tool. It's a tool, but however you use it, however you choose to use it, it's dependent upon the person. So a lot of people, people give social media a bad rap because it makes people do this and that and whatever it may be, people seeking attention and stuff like that. I mean, that's just dependent upon the person. That's stuff that society has to work out. But the internet is indifferent. If that's the correct word. It can be, like I said, it depends upon the person and how they want to utilize it. And there's outstanding factors to the internet. Social media. The way information can get spread around at a faster pace, better than what our parents and grandparents, what they were able to have access to. Hell, man, I've got tons of PDFs on books and stuff, man, that would have taken forever to acquire the library that I have if I was just going to library to library and trying to find rare things, rare literature. Internet is great, man. Like I said, it's all about how a person utilizes it. Another reason is, we put certain ideas out. There's a lot of dumb ideas, but I'm not quick to call everything stupid. Because like I said, human beings are trying to work these ideas out. It's just about admitting when you're wrong or right, or identifying what's practical and what's impractical. But we test these ideas, we put them out into the public. Sometimes you're gonna get, like I said, a lot of people may respond all type of different ways. But for the most part, it's all healthy because it helps everybody grow. We put these ideas out and we test them, we think about them, we ponder on them, and then we can come to some sort of conclusion on how to move forward. It's kind of like how science works, right? And I've seen this discussion. I've actually posted about it in the past about women, and when they talk about the right man bringing the bringing their femininity out. They'll be masculine until they'll be feminine for the right man. And so what has happened is, a lot of men have now parodied that take and now saying they'll be masculine for the right woman. It's funny, it brings jokes, but it brings a lot of solid discussion around the topic. I will say this. I'll say this, and y'all give y'all thoughts on it. Tell me if you think I'm right or wrom. But I'm gonna make it real simple on how I view this, and I've had a sort of a shift on this. I sat back and thought about it, and this is what I've come with. And it came out of no discussion, just off of self-introspection. Think of it like a woman and her ability, how acceptable. Now, any person, acceptability and what a person can do are two different things. A person can do whatever they feel, whatever works for them, as long as they're not infringing or blocking the progress of another person. A person can do whatever they feel, but we know that there's something to optics. And it's not necessarily just, societal standards or whatnot. We know that just something not right. Something's not, it doesn't match. It's not aesthetically pleasing. If if you get what I'm saying. A woman can wear pants and a woman can wear a dress. It's acceptable. You see where I'm going here? But a man in a dress, like I said, if a man wants to wear a dress all he wants, he has that freedom, and I advocate for that person's freedom. Especially here in America. America, the concept of America and the Constitution is supposed to be built around the pursuit of life, liberty, and happiness. So you have every right to do that. But a man in a dress is not aesthetically pleasing to most individuals. It's just not. Let's keep it real. So there's going to be a level of ridicule. There's going to be a level of, confusion. Like, what the hell are you doing when somebody sees that? I'm going to look at it like, that shit looks crazy. That shit looks crazy. And that's the same thing. Some double standards are acceptable, whether it's for men or women. There's double standards. It's like when a woman has sex with a bunch of partners, she's going to get looked at as a whore. I don't care how much y'all try to change this or try to change the minds of people. She's going to get looked at as a whore. Now, just like I said, she has the right to do as she please, and there's no problem. I'm not judging a person if a man decides that he wants to marry a chick like that, because people can change. But it's still different, it's still different. It's different perception, because the women are getting plugged, they're getting inserted into, and the men are doing the plugging. Still, it's still a misuse of your genitalia, but that's the perception. That's the aesthetics to it. It's a double standard. It's a double standard to a lot of things. But you can still live your life, but understand the aesthetics of particular things. It's all right for a woman to embrace a masculine, masculine traits when it comes to survival, because that's what's needed. Think about that. That's what's needed for survival, are masculine traits, and operating off logic and, being ahead of things. The problem is that's not a woman's nature. They lead more emotionally, because that's just how they're biologically wired. The estrogen and everything, and many other factors. While men have more testosterone in them. That attributes to how they move, the strength, the logical way of thinking. It's not to say that a woman isn't logical. Women just tend to add more emotion into things. And there's nothing wrong with emotion when it comes to how we interact with as individuals. But when it comes to as when to make decisions and anything like that, we're talking about business. When it talks to business, strong decisions and stuff like that, emotion has to be left completely out of those things. And you have to operate fully off logic. Things that are pragmatic, practical. And so these are survival. It's a survival thing. This is why this is what makes the men the lead in society. It's not because of societal standards or patriarchy. We're natural leaders. We are the natural leaders because of our masculinity. That's why do you think there's been so much of an attack on masculinity? To remove it. You haven't heard anybody talking about toxic femininity, right? There's been an attack on masculinity. That's for the children. That's to sway the direction of the children. And they apply it to all type of different things, to the images that they see on television and stuff like that. They don't want a man to embrace a hero role and stuff like that. They don't want that. They want to get rid of that, because the way to get to a society is to target the women and the children. And you have to get the men out of the way, because men are typically logical. So there's no reason to why a man, and there's masculine and feminine traits to everybody, but a man should not be, you know what I mean, should not be leading with femininity. A man is naturally masculine. A man has to lead. That is the only way that we will get society out of the funk that it's in right now. A woman has to do that, has to display that as a survival technique, especially when the man has been removed. Think about that. Think about that with the black community. When the man gets removed in ways, or, they fall victim to a trap, this is what it is. The mother, she has to adopt those type of traits to get her to do the best that she can so her child can survive or succeed. But it's not natural in them. They're still emotional. They lead with emotion. A lot of times mothers can be more friendly with the kids than the man will. Those are the great aspects. They're more nurturing. Those are important aspects to life. That's why femininity is needed. Femininity is needed. Maybe those are aspects that a man can apply, but they're still more logical. Men provide more structure. And that's part of the problem. What's happened with our children is the lack of structure. You're seeing more and more men rising up to the occasion, but there's still more work that needs to be done. And when you see a lot of the households that fail, it's not 100% thing, but the majority, a common denominator is no father in the house. No father in the house. Even if you take, and it's still smaller scale, because women are more likely to keep the child because, they have more of a connection to the child. The man is easier for him to dip off. Meanwhile, the woman is left stuck with the pregnancy. That's why there's more responsibility. There's responsibility on both parts, but, direct responsibility when it comes to sex. Women gotta be more responsible because they're left with a child, when a man could just run off whenever he feels like it. But if you were to operate off percentage, and it's a small, like I said, a small sample size, but if you were to operate off percentage, I can guarantee you that it's more likely for a child to be more structured under a man. A lot of them may hate their daddies more because, like I said, the man can be colder. That's why you want to be able to apply some feminine traits, some more nurturing, but you want to lead with logic. But it's all right to be emotional. It's all right to be kind, understanding towards your child, which I think needs to be more embraced by men. You don't want to be cold to the child, but it's just in a man's nature. In a man's nature to be a little more strict. And that's not saying that women can't do it. I think I've made everything clear. They're more likely to be on the street straight and narrow under their father versus the woman. It's just what it is. So, back to the original point. This whole conversation about, it's getting on women because they say they'll be feminine for the right man and all of that. And women should still, embrace their femininity, but hell, like I said, they gotta survive. Hell, man, especially when it comes toward, you're dealing with men. There's a lot of cats, man, that they operate at a weaker advantage physically. So a lot of dudes take advantage of women. It's not like that when you're dealing with a woman. When a man's dealing with a woman, at the least you got to worry about her setting you up or, certain shit. But, these men are crazy out here. So, it's a double standard type of thing, and it's appropriate. Women got to survive. That's it. Men are already naturally tend to be in survival mode. So, y'all let me know what y'all think, man. It's a lengthy video. I want to hear y'all thoughts, and this is good for discussion. This is good for advancing, the thought process of human beings. This is how we evolve, and the public discourse is a great thing. So, hey, let me know what y'all think. It's the Grit Culture. I will holler at y'all later.